Hi there, this is Erin from Crafts Everywhere. Today I'm going to show you how to make these little guys. It's a fun Halloween craft that I came up with. So let's talk about what you can use for it first, because I know not everybody has these. So my husband cuts these wood rounds for me, and then I just drill a hole in them. But I know not everybody has that. So for the base, you can use like half foam ball, or they make wood rounds that you can buy at like Hobby Lobby if you want to do something like what I did. Because for mine, I just used our maple tree. Just needed to get some branches cut off of it, and so we just used a piece off of that, and then I just used these wooden dowels that you can find at, I'm pretty sure I got them at Walmart. They're just the skinny ones, 3/16 inch for those. Otherwise, I also have these. So these are wheels from the Woodpile Fun at Hobby Lobby. And then you can get dowels that fit right in there and use that as a base too. So that works pretty much the same way. There's a lot of things you can do to put these on the stands, but those are a few ideas anyways for that. And then, so you'll need something for the head too. So you can either use a pom-pom, if you have a pom-pom maker, and then just kind of flatten the front out to add the face. Or if you have access to like wooden balls or something like that, that would work too. The thing I like to use the most is these foam craft balls, so that way you can stick the dowel through it, and it makes it a bit more secure on there. So these are 1.5 inch balls. Pretty sure I got these at Walmart too, so they're pretty cheap. So that's what I am going to use for the center of the head of mine. And then for the yarn, you can just use super cheap white yarn. That's all you need. So I am going to use this sugar and cream that was in my stash. I used some other DK stuff that I had in my stash for the other one, but it really doesn't matter as long as it's white. So the first thing that we're going to do is make the body of the ghost. So we're going to do this part. And this stand I made full length with the full length of the dowel, and this one I'm going to make a little bit shorter, so I won't want the strands to be as long. I did about 16 inches for this before trimming it, and for this one I will probably do like about 12 inches. So fold it in half. You'll just start with the yarn, and then you're just going to be making it, it's about like that, and then you're just going to be not getting knots in the yarn. There we go. Basically like this until you get the amount that you want for the body. You want to do a pretty good amount for the body, so that way it's fluffier and not thin, because you don't want to be able to see whatever you're using for your stand. You don't want to be able to see that through. Right. This is getting the best of me, so I'm just going to chop it off and start again. All right, once you get a pretty good amount in the bundle, you can check and see if you think that that'll be enough. I think we're getting pretty close here. I'm going to do like a few more wraps. All right, I think that's going to be good. So we'll cut it here. All right, and so we've got that now. And so there's your body. And so what you're going to do in the center of the bundle, you are going to be tying long pieces to make the part that will go onto the dowel or the stand. So you just pick a place that's slightly away from the middle, because your middle will be where the stand goes into. And then you just tie it a few times. I made the strings on these super long so that way I can see them so they don't blend in with the others. So there's that half. And then get another length and go leave just a little bit of space in between, not a huge ton, about 1/2 inch probably. And that will vary, of course, depending on what you use as your stand. Since I'm using a super skinny dowel, I don't need very much space in between. Tie that a few times to secure it. And then it's going to look like that in the very center. And put it on the stand. So the stand is here like this. And then you're just going to take your very center and stick it down in there. Might take a little rotating to get it in. There we go. So now it'll look like that. And this is going to slide up and down on the stand for right now, and that's okay. We'll fix that later. And then I also, to help secure it, you take these long tails from where you tied it on both sides, and then you just will cross those underneath and then tie them with the other side. So you'll take the tails from both sides, like so, and then tie them together underneath of all of the yarn, so that way it is an extra layer of security too. All right, I've got those tied underneath, so I'm going to just go ahead and trim the long pieces now because we don't need them to be super long anymore. So here's what it looks like for right now. Kind of crazy. It's got crazy hair. But now we are going to do the head. And so I am going to grab my foam ball if I can find it. And so I am going to start with a little dab of hot glue just to secure the beginning and hopefully not burn myself. There we go. And then you're just going to wrap your yarn and just try to cover the entire ball so there's no foam or whatever it is in the center that you're covering. And then I occasionally will just put some more hot glue on the ball as I am going. And so you're just going to be doing that for a while until everything is covered from the center and you also feel like the head is the right size. So this will just be kind of up to you to eyeball it. More glue. Try not to burn myself on the pieces I've already, whoops, try to put, that's another reason that you do glue. When you inevitably drop it, it won't all the way unravel. It'll only partially unravel. You'll want to work your way around the ball evenly so that way it stays round. See, we're starting to look like a head. You can't really see much of the foam anymore. We'll wrap it a little bit more to get it looking a little bit more round. So here's what it looks like. And then you can just trim the end. And if you see an obvious place where you'd like to poke the dowel through, then you can just glue the yarn down near that so it's at the bottom. And then so we're just going to secure the end here with a little bit more glue. Burn himself a little bit, like usual when I work with hot glue guns. Don't know if I'm the only one who burns myself every time, but I do. All right, so there's your head. So now what we are going to do is you can slide your body down for right now, so that way it doesn't get in the way. And you want to find a break in the yarn. So my head is a bit oblong, so I'm going to go stab the dowel in down here. So I will just be kind of twisting the dowel until it gets through all of the yarn layers and gets up into the foam part, which this part might take a little bit of doing. There we go. All right, so now we've got the head, and then I just usually poke it down until it's pretty much all the way through, so the dowel is up here but not poking through everything. Pull the head out slightly and add a little bit of glue, and then you can put it back down again. That helps secure it. So you don't want the head going anywhere, unless you want a headless ghost. That'd be up to you guys though. All right, there we go. Now we'll slide up the body. So it's right up there. All right, so this is what we've got so far. Now, so because we split the yarn, you're gonna have, you know, an obvious gap here. So what you wanna do is add a little hot glue on both sides right here. You wanna add a little bit of glue right here. Gonna squish it around a little bit. And then just pinch the yarn together. And then it'll help. It'll look like that. We're gonna add a collar too, so it will help cover that up. But then you just do that on the other side also. Just gonna go right there. And then pinch together. And then glue it down like that. There we go. All right. So that's what we've got so far. After the head is in, what you want to do is flip everything up. So that way it looks like this. And then add some glue underneath of here. So that way your body stays in place also. And then everything is secure, and then you just flip everything back up again. Like so. Now you are going to take some more white yarn, tie it around the neck. Just in a knot is fine. And now you are going to take the tail and just wrap it around like so. Just until it looks basically the way that you want it to. You can kind of rearrange things as you go. All right, so there is what the front of mine is looking like, and then you will just grab the tail, or really any strand here, and knot it. So that way it doesn't go anywhere. And then trim it like that. All right, and then if you want to, you can also add a little bit of hot glue underneath of the neck too. I like to do that just so that way it kind of stays in place. Since these stay in the bins most of the year, I guess they have to be pretty tough since they get mixed around with all of the other decorations. I feel like these are basically like the Tootsie Roll Pops Kleenex thingies that you always used to get in your Halloween candy, but for adults. All right, so now if you like it like this, you can trim the bottom and have done with it. Otherwise, I added a face to mine. And once I made him yesterday, I added the bow tie and I was like, well, that's so cute. I think that I'll make a girl. And so I am going to attempt to put a bow on the top of her head. So we're going to have these two. Let's have a look real quick at how to cut the bow so you can see how I did it before. And all I did is you just fold a piece of felt in half here, and then I just eyeballed it, and then you just, at the half mark is going to be where you unfold it, and so just cut at an angle, make the flat part, and then cut at an angle, leaving a good amount in the middle. And that is how you make either the hair bow or the bow tie for them. So they look like that. You can do whatever you want to with the face. You can leave it blank. You can just do eyes. I used buttons for my eyes, just little guys. And then felt for the mouth, just black felt, and then just glued it all on. Otherwise, you can use whatever you want to. But that just happened to be the easiest thing that I had laying around. So let's give her a haircut first before we do anything else. And this is real easy to do. You just get it all together, and then if you have like really sharp scissors, which I do, you just start like that, and then you can trim afterwards. But check that out, so much easier. And then I will trim it a little bit more afterwards, but for now that will work. And so we've got the button eyes here, but I think I will honestly add the mouth first, just to kind of center it on everything, and then we'll add the eyes after that, and then I'll see if I can figure out something that looks good for the bow. So I'm going to cut out the mouth real quick, and then I'll be back. All right, so I cut out my felt pieces. So I did the bow and the mouth and kind of placed them where I wanted them to be, and so that is more or less what it's going to look like. And then, so I will glue those down first, and then I will add the eyes afterwards to keep everything centered on there. All right, so I will glue those on because I'm not good enough to show you while I glue, because otherwise it will not be pretty at all. And then I will come back to show you what she looks like. Alrighty, so I've trimmed her up, and I have gotten yarn all over me doing that. And I have added her face and the bow, and so here is your completed ghost. And so here's what they look like, and then they will go in my windowsill along with all of my other Halloween decorations. And that is how you make my little ghosts. Happy Halloween!